Hi students, welcome to all 4 e-learning chemistry classes for second year. The running chapter is electrochemistry and now we are in session number 14. In previous session we discussed about the applications of Kohlrausch law related to find the degree of dissociation of weak electrolytes and in finding the ionic product of water. Actually the ionic product of water in ionic equilibrium we already learned that it is at room temperature it is equal to 10 to the power of minus 14, and in previous session practically how it is equal to that, how to measure it, all this has been discussed. Now in last session I gave you some numericals to solve. I hope you solved it and now you are waiting for the result. I think that is nothing but for hints and solutions. Here first let us complete that and then we will enter into the sessions content of the R session subject. Clear? And now here it is model number 2 where the data is provided as the equivalent conductance of 0.1 molar. So when the concentration is given, it is nothing but certain dilution. 0.1 molar weak acid conductance is given. That means it is at a particular dilution. We can write it as lambda V. And it is given as a relative quantity, not direct value is given. That is lambda V of this weak electrolyte that at this concentration is 100 times less than the conductance at infinite dilution. Say for example, if we are considering this lambda V as 1, then lambda V infinite will be 100 because it is 100 times less than the conductance at infinite dilution, means in a reverse manner at infinite dilution the conductance is 100 times greater than this, is it not? So now alpha is nothing but lambda V by lambda infinite, that is 1 by 100, that is 0.01. That is the degree of dissociation from the model 2. And now coming to model 3 question. Here what they are providing is at particular dilution, at a given dilution, that is when the concentration is given. Here NH4 OH concentration is given as 0.01 molar. At this concentration the conductance is conductance at a given dilution lambda V. This is given as 9.4 ohm inverse mole inverse centimeter square. This value is given, 9.4 value is given. And now they asked for the degree of dissociation alpha of NH4 OH. And the other data what they are providing is lambda naught NaCl is given, it is 126, and the other one is lambda naught NaOH is also provided, it is 217, and lambda naught NH4Cl is also given, it is 130 ohm inverse mole inverse centimeter square. Clear? And now to find the degree of dissociation alpha, what we require? Alpha is nothing but lambda V by lambda infinite. And we know lambda V is already given, so directly we can substitute that value. But how to get this lambda infinite, that is the conductance of that electrolyte NH4OH at infinite dilution, we have to measure. And here directly we are not having the ions, specific ions that present in this given electrolyte, or directly they are not giving lambda infinite. So here we have to consider these 3 data, and from these 3 data we have to abstract these 2 ion conductance. The sum of that is nothing but the conductance of this electrolyte as per Kohlrausch law. Already this model we covered in the beginning. Clear? Kohlrausch. Now let us solve. NH lambda infinite NH4 OH is nothing but lambda naught NH4 plus lambda naught OH minus. We require these 2 ions, and whereas we are having the data like this: lambda naught NaCl, which is of supposed to be lambda naught Na plus ion plus lambda naught Cl minus ion. This is equal to 126 and let us consider this as equation 1. And then this second one, lambda naught NaOH, that means lambda naught Na plus is there and lambda naught OH minus is there, and this is equal to 217. This is equation 2. And now coming to third, that is lambda naught NH4Cl, and here lambda naught NH4 plus lambda naught Cl minus is equal to 130. This is 3 equation. And now with your observation, with your knowledge, you can guess what we require is this one we require and this one we require for the given electrolyte. So to get these two conductances, we have to sum up these two, and when we are making sum up of these two, additional, that is unnecessary ions are there, and these unnecessary ions we have to eliminate. For that purpose, these two combinedly giving the third, that is 126. So from this we can say that 2 plus 3 minus 1 will provide the conductance at infinite dilution for NH4OH. Clear? And now 2 is 217 plus 3 is 130 minus 126. Now it is arriving at 347 minus 126, that is around 221. Now the degree of dissociation is nothing but 9.4 by 221. Whatever you are getting, that is nothing but degree of dissociation. Are you clear with this model 3? And now coming to model 4. This model 4 requires some, that is nothing but understanding, that is how to measure this alpha from different other dissociation constants of weak acids like acetic acid or weak bases. In junior inter you learned something about the dissociation constants and its relation with the degree of dissociation. Let me give that here. It is CH3COOH, it is given, and for that lambda naught, that is at infinite dilution, the conductance is given as CH3COOH is given as 390.7. It is ohm inverse, mole inverse, centimeter square. And now calculate the molar conductance, that is they are giving the lambda infinite or delta infinite, this value, and now they are asking for lambda V, a reverse question. To measure this lambda V, they are providing some other data, that is nothing but the concentration is given as 0.01 molar, and then one more data what they provide is for the acetic acid, the dissociation constant is given as 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 5. So concentration is given like this and dissociation constant is given like this. And now by providing the conductance of this weak electrolyte acetic acid at infinite dilution, they are asking for conductance at a given concentration. Clear? And now first let us consider how to measure this. We know already alpha, degree of dissociation, it is equal to conductance at a given dilution at a given concentration by lambda infinite. Now they are asking for this, and when it is asked lambda V at a given dilution, the conductance is equal to alpha into lambda infinite. So they are asking for this and they provided this, and from the given data we have to find this. Are you following? This is nothing but computing the data, what we require, which is missing, and to get that missing, how to do with the given data. Now let us go for that. Yes, you know, this acetic acid is weak electrolyte and it is dissociating like this, H plus, C in the beginning 0 0, and now at equilibrium it is dissociating to some extent, nothing but C alpha. That C alpha, here it is generating C alpha and C alpha. This dissociation constant is Ka. Clear? And now we require this alpha. How to find it? From this Ka, dissociation constant is nothing but C alpha into C alpha by C into 1 minus alpha. It is nothing but, this is equilibrium constant. In that equilibrium constant, say state ion concentration into H plus ion concentration by this is that equilibrium constant, dissociation constant. Already you know. And directly I am substituting that. This state ion is nothing but this, and H plus ion is nothing but this. Clear? And now it is the concentration at equilibrium. And now with this one, we know the concentration is less than 0.02. So it is very dilute solution. Less than 0.02. So dilute solution. In such a dilution, this degree of dissociation alpha is negligible compared to this. C cancelled with this. This alpha is negligible compared to 1. So now what we are getting is Ka is equal to C alpha square, or alpha square is equal to Ka by C, and alpha is equal to root of Ka by C. This is the formulation from the given data. And now these two we are having, that is dissociation constant is given and concentration is also given. And now here the alpha, that value we have to substitute here to get this. This is already given. Clear? Now let us substitute. Lambda V is equal to, alpha is nothing but root of Ka. Ka value is given as 1.88 into 10 to the power of minus 5 by C is given as 0.01 into lambda infinity is given as 390.7. Whatever you are getting, that is the answer for this numerical problem. Clear? Keenly you observe what is how to compute the data from the given. Just first of all, what they asked, for that purpose what is the formula, and in that formula what they are providing directly and what we have to get in an indirect method from the given data other than the required. Clear? This is that model question. Actually it is time taking, but when you are thorough with this concept, simply you can directly solve that. Clear? That is about the numerical part of the previous session. And now in this session, from this session onwards, we have to change, we are changing the concept. Till now, up to now, what we are discussing in electrolytic cell is just what are the ions that are migrating towards different electrodes. Say for example, it is the electrolytic cell, and here we are connecting the electrode to external EMF, that is nothing but battery, and now like this, and in these different electrolytes are present. Depending on that electrolyte, different ions will be generated. Say for example, it may be HCl solution, or it may be NaCl fused, or it may be NaCl aqueous, or it may be CuSO4 aqueous solution, or it may be AgCl, or it may be AgNO3. Like that we are taking different electrolytes. And now till now what we discussed is nothing but, when say for example all these, let us consider with the simple formula AB, and when current is passed, it is dissociating into cation and anion, and this cation is supposed to migrate towards the cathode, where the cathode is having negative charge to attract that positive charge, and the anion is migrating towards anode, where the anion is having negative charge. To attract this negative charge, it should be positive. So now till now what we discussed is which ion will be migrating to which electrode, and that too after reaching that electrode, which ion will be discharged first. Altogether simply we can say that at different electrodes, what are the products that are deposited or released when the current is passed through different electrolytes. That has been discussed. It is what are the products means, it is nothing but qualitative. Of these, chlorine release or hydrogen release or oxygen release, that is the quality is measured. and in due course when they are migrating towards the electrodes, they are carrying the charge, and carrying charge is nothing but conductance, and the conductance we considered till now. And what are the factors that affect that conductance is also studied. What are the factors and individual, each and every one, their effects, like similar to that of dilution, and that effect depending on the nature of the electrolyte, that is strong or weak, like that we studied all these. Clear? And in due course, at the conductance at infinite dilution, what are the principles applicable, what are the laws framed, and what their application, other applications like Onsager equation and Kohlrausch law, all these are coming to qualitative aspect. Qualitative, just quality we are measuring. Now in this session we are entering into the other part, that is nothing but quantitative aspect. Quantitative, quantity, nothing but amount. And you remember these amounts, different kinds we may consider. Generally the count is nothing but in terms of weight we can measure, in terms of volume for gases only, you remember. And one more important thing here, in general for the electrode products we are considering only the solid forms of metals or gaseous state. We are not supposed to have any liquid that released or deposited electrode, you remember. Liquid deposition or liquid releasing, obtaining liquid at electrode is not possible in general. Clear? And now this we can measure this amount either in terms of weight or volume. We know when it is gas we can take weight or volume, when it is solid we can measure only weights in quantity. But here I am giving this amount not in terms of that weight or volume. One more parameter is there. These amounts, for your understanding, for coming sessions, for your understanding, you remember these amounts here, what we are going to consider is absolute amount. Absolute amount. Let me explain this word. Absolute amount is nothing but, say for example here, B deposited or released here. How much B is deposited or released? That's all. We are not comparing it. It is nothing. We are not comparing it with any other product formed at other electrodes. Just how much B is released. Only on its own. When we measure, that is known as absolute amount. It is similar to, for your understanding, when you are appearing for any competitive examination, how many marks you are getting is absolute. And now the second one is relative amount. Relative amount is nothing but when this B is deposited here, at the same time how much of A is deposited. Are you observing the difference? In the previous case only we are considering how much B is deposited. How much B is deposited. We are not giving any relativity. And now this B deposited, that amount we know. And now we are considering, or otherwise say for the same B, let us consider the second factor also. In the previous case, how much B is deposited. We are not comparing with any other. We are not taking any relativity. But now this B deposition is measured in terms of A. They are providing the data as A this much, some X amount of A is deposited, then how much of amount of B is deposited at this electrode. Now that means they are relatively measuring the amounts, that is called relative amount. Simply for your understanding, your own marks is absolute and your ranking is nothing but relativity. How many marks you are getting, the other people are getting, they are giving the relativity positions of you. That is nothing but relative amount. Are you clear with this one? Now this quantitative, that is the amount that deposited or released at electrodes, have been discussed by Faraday's laws. Faraday's laws. And these Faraday's laws are given in two forms, that is Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law. Just. And why it is for two? Simply because these two types of amounts. And you remember, for absolute amount of the electrolyte product at electrode, we are using first law of Faraday. Faraday first law considered the absolute amount of the electrode product. Here we require only how much current is passed, how much time the current is passed, that much. Such relations are given by Faraday's first law. And whereas second, relative amount, that is when some X is deposited this much of amount, then Y is deposited how much of amount, that has been dealt by second law of Faraday. Are you following? Are you clear with this one? Relative amount, simply we are measuring how much of a particular substance is deposited or released. That is relative. That is absolute. And relative is nothing but if one substance this much is deposited, the other substance deposit how much. Relativity is measured. And to measure the absolute amount of this the electrode product, we are taking or we are adopting first law of Faraday, and to measure this we are adopting second law of Faraday. Clear? And this discussion we will continue in coming sessions. Clear? Thank you.